G'day there guys, Markee here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's bloody good stories. If you do, hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. With that said, sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the Barbie, and let's go. Cheers. Posted by user SuspiciousFruit243, titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to tattoo at my cousin's wedding? So for a little background, I'm a tattoo artist. I've done an apprenticeship the first year of tattooing. I've worked as a tattoo artist for 4 years now, and I opened a studio recently. My family and I were invited to a wedding that is taking place in another state. My cousin's getting married, and we got the invitation a few months ago. Time's moved forward, and now the wedding is in a week already. Out of the blue, my cousin, let's call him Matt, texted me something along the lines of, "You're gonna tattoo me on my wedding day." I was a bit confused as I never even thought of bringing my equipment since I also didn't plan a guest spot or anything. Guest spot is a tattoo artist working at another studio for a few days or weeks, mostly in a different area to grow the clientele. I jokingly asked him if he has a machine, as I still hoped that he wasn't serious. He then just asked if I don't have one, and that one machine wouldn't take up that much space to take with. I replied that I didn't plan on bringing my equipment that in fact contains more than just a machine. Color, hygiene stuff, stencil, that's the purple stuff that you put on the skin to then trace the tattoo with actual needles, etc. And that I'm not prepared to tattoo at a wedding, of which I don't know anything about. Layout of the location, is it inside or outside, and so on and so forth. He then said he had planned on this, and that it would mean a lot to him to both get a tattoo on his wedding day, and that I would be the one to tattoo him. Remember that this is the first time that I'm hearing this. I again tried to explain that I don't feel comfortable with that, and that it's quite short notice as I work until me and my brother fly over to attend the wedding, and a tattoo needs to be designed first, right? He saw my message, but didn't reply. This morning, my mother called me and she was furious. She asked why I couldn't just pull my shit together and just tattoo Matt. I told her what I've previously told Matt as well, but she didn't want to hear it. She just said that it would mean a lot to her and Matt's family if I would do that, and that it could be my wedding gift, and then she hung up. I talked to my brother about it, and he just shrugged it off and said, "I don't know, it'd be nice of you though." I'm unsure what to do now, as I'm not really comfortable with the whole situation, especially because I've never been guest spotting, so I've never had to travel, let alone get on a plane, with my equipment. But is that just selfish? I mean, it would mean a lot to apparently everyone, and I'm just saying no. Edits. 1. I do have an actual wedding gift already, as they sent out a wish list with their invitations. There was a point that said artwork, because they recently moved into a bigger house, and apparently they want random artwork to decorate. I oil painted them a painting that I spent several days on, so I also don't plan to give him a voucher as a gift. 2. Maddie doesn't have any tattoos as far as I know, and 3. I don't know what my mum's problem is with all of this. I think she just wants to keep the peace. In the comments, OP expands on why this is such a bad idea. I especially don't understand why I should tattoo at a wedding, since you can't or shouldn't combine getting tattooed with drinking alcohol. And knowing Matt, there will be plenty of alcohol at this wedding. A commenter says, "Really? And does that mean that you can't drink as well? This would be a hard no from me." OP says, "Yeah, I wouldn't be able to drink either, but up until now, I haven't even thought of that." It's inappropriate of him to expect you to work for free at an event to which you're a guest. Are you even licensed to tattoo in the other state? The entire thing sounds ludicrous. Tell your cousin your hourly rate, build in the PIA rate for your hauling your equipment, and he needs to cover your flights and hotel. After all, flying in a trained professional to perform a service costs money. Oh, and he needs to pay up front since this is a special service. OP says, "I am actually licensed, and I mean, I would ask for money, but apparently they planned this as a wedding gift, like my mum suggested. I can't even imagine what they're thinking." They planned this as a wedding gift? From you? Because that's pretty presumptuous, and against some kind of, wedding etiquette. I always thought any mention of a gifts by the wedding couple was some kind of faux pas, not the asshole. OP says, especially since they have an actual list of things that they wanted to be gifted. I mean, there was a point that said artwork, but if they wanted me to tattoo Matt as a gift, they could and should have reached out as they sent out their list. And is there a honeymoon happening right after the wedding? If they're going anywhere where swimming's involved, he won't be able to swim with a fresh tattoo. OP says, I thought of that too. They're going to Bali. I doubt that he'd considered not being able to swim or being in the sun at all. They are being unreasonable and making things weird for no reason. Not the arsehole. And I just wouldn't go if they keep being like this. OP says, I did think about not attending. It'd be sad not to, but this is also very uncomfortable, and I don't think everyone would have let go of it by then. Not the arsehole, but disclaimer, I'm petty. I would find out who the bride is and tell her. This would hijack the wedding. Explain to her or her maid of honor or mum that you would need so many hours to set up, clean, and do the actual tattoo that this would take over her whole wedding. And then just sit back and watch the shitfest. And OP says, I'm actually not sure if the bride is in on this or not. I'm not close with her at all. Does he have any other tattoos so that he understands how long it could end up taking? He could theoretically want anything at this point. This is such a ridiculous request. OP says, I don't think he has any tattoos. And with that, no concept on how tattooing actually works. Not the arsehole. What is really wrong with your mother? Honestly, while I'm not a tattoo artist, I think it's unethical and unprofessional to engage in tattoo services at a wedding or other place other than your studio. If Matt wants to have a tattoo done, tell him to come to your studio and you can do it for him before or after the wedding as a wedding gift. Not during the ceremony? Jeez, this is so ridiculous. Yeah, this is just an idiot asking for an idiotic request of something they have no concept in their head of how it works. Just, oh my god, bruh, how crazy would it be if my first tattoo was at my wedding? What's it gonna be? I don't know, but I want it though. Oh my god, that'd be so crazy. Let's do it. Oh my god. And then as soon as logistics are involved, you really hope that this person gives up and is like, okay, that's why no one gets a tattoo at their wedding. Sick. But common sense isn't that common, is it? Not the arsehole, OP. And now, onto the second part of the story. Since my update got banned because I posted another update, so, the last few hours have been a lot. First off, I called my mum and, wow, she asked me again. This time, she asked in a very friendly way if I want to tattoo Maddie at his wedding, and again, I said no, with all the reasons I've previously given her, plus some of the very good points that you guys had. Before she could say anything else, I added that I felt like she wouldn't take me and tattooing seriously. She didn't say anything for a bit, until she tried to explain that she really thought that it wasn't a big deal. I told her again that it is, and that my mum of all people should know how my job works. She agreed and apologized profusely. I then asked her if she'd like to attend and watch me work on a client's appointment, and to my surprise, she said yes. Mum's tagging along tomorrow. Now to Maddie, or rather his bride. I finally got a hold of the bride, and let's say that her name's Becky, and asked her about the request that her fiancé confronted me with. She seemed surprised, as she apparently had heard from my aunt that I made them something for their new house. She assumed that it would be a painting since I'm the artist of the family, and it's known that I also paint. I confirmed that, but that Maddie has come forward with this out of the blue, and that it's not a good idea for many reasons. She agreed with me immediately. I think she does have tattoos. She thanked me for telling her, as no one else did. Becky seemed really mad, but she seemed to pull herself together. I would have lost it. I'm assuming that Becky confronted Matt after our call, because only 3 or 4 hours later, I checked the family group chat and there was a message from Becky. There will be no ceremony on the 13th, as Matt and I decided that we aren't getting married. Matt and I have other things to figure out, so please text or call us tomorrow if you have questions. For the rest of the day, we will be on flight mode. After dinner, Becky called me and apologized for Matt again. She said that it was a stupid idea of his, and that he just thought that it would be cool. She then informed me that she still wants me to fly over for the wedding day, as she'll be hosting a party instead of a wedding. Everything is paid for anyways, and she doesn't want anything to go to waste. I asked if they broke up, and she said, "Not yet, but I'm gonna stay at my sister's place until next week." I'm assuming that Matt hasn't been too great, but I'm not sure that I'll hear about it, as apparently my brother and my mum aren't invited. My call must have been the last straw, but as far as I'm concerned, Becky's handling it gracefully, and Matt will be okay too, I'm sure. So I'm going to a party, but did I just make a new friend? Thanks y'all for having my back. Update Part 2. Welcome back. I'm finally done writing this. Thanks to everyone coming back and reading this. I appreciate y'all and love that you're enjoying the tea. So because a lot of you wanted to know how the bring your mum to work day was, I picked her up in the morning and we headed to the studio. I showed her around, told her a few background stories about some of the artworks and photos that are hanging on our walls, and explained to her my routine as I prepared everything. My client arrived and I handled it like I usually would, just with my mum sitting there. I explained every step of the process, and she also asked me questions about my ink, needles, technique, etc. It was a lot of fun having her around, and she really did surprise me with her openness and interest. When I was done with tattooing, my mum had to leave for work, but thanked me and hugged me for bringing her along, as she not only enjoyed spending time with me, but she also loved seeing me doing my job so professionally, and says that she sees my work and efforts now. To the wedding/party. The party started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon as the ceremony was cancelled. I arrived and was immediately welcomed by Becky's sister. She hugged me and helped me with my painting. Everyone was outside, drinking and having a small bite already. I went to say hi to Becky and she hugged me warmly. She seemed tired, but otherwise fine. Becky was also smiling a lot, which surprised me. I went to mingle as I didn't want to start off with questioning her. I met a lot of her friends, and apparently most of them weren't too fond of Matt. I heard a few things of how he tried to change Becky to be more like his ex, and stuff like that, not a great look, Maddie. Speaking of, not a single friend or relative of Matt was around, besides me and one other cousin. Later, as we sat down to eat, I asked if I could join Becky's table. They said yes, so I was sitting with Becky, her sister, and 3 of her friends. I introduced myself to one of them. Haven't talked to him before, and Becky added that I'm Matt's cousin, the one who was supposed to tattoo. A simultaneous, "Oh," came from everyone, and with that, the conversation was about Matt from the get-go. I asked what happened. The sister just rolled her eyes and was like, "What didn't?" Becky and friends told me that, a while ago, Matt has apparently started to pick on Becky for being herself in various ways. It started small, like asking her to change her sports routine from workouts to only running, and then he criticized her cooking as he prefers to eat more meat and more traditionally. Don't know what that means. They discussed these topics, and it always seemed fine, but he didn't stop. He asked her if she couldn't let her hair grow out or get extensions, and speaking of hair, if she couldn't get it brighter. Becky has shoulder-length long black hair. More and more seemed to pile up until he also started to make comments along the lines of, "Can't you be more like my ex?" As I understand it, he didn't say it specifically, but it was clear that he meant it like that. His ex is from Texas. I was shocked. I asked why she didn't just break up because of that, but Becky explained that in the moment, it didn't seem as bad as when you list those reasons out. She had also made a few changes to make Maddie happy, but continued to do what she wanted most of the time. Time went on and the issues resurfaced again and again in different ways. The last big fight was only a few weeks ago when Maddie called Becky by his ex's name. They somehow settled this. So let's skip forward to when I called Becky about the tattoo idea. After our call, she went up to Matt and asked him why he didn't talk to her about it and why he would decide to just do something like that on their wedding day. He explained that he wanted to surprise her and stuff like that. Becky went on telling him that this wasn't happening and that she wanted to be able to enjoy the wedding and their honeymoon. Again, they seemed to agree in the end and he apologized, but later, this almost threw me, as Becky was starting to cook dinner and Matt was sitting at the counter, they talked about the tattoos again. Apparently it was just a really chill discussion about tattoos in general, and Becky asked him playfully what he intended on getting tattooed. He gestured across his chest and said, I want my birth date, our wedding date, and your birth date. So insert his birthday, the 13th of the 6th, 2024, insert her birthday. Becky said that she went blind for a millisecond. That third date was in fact not her birthday. She asked him again, and he repeated the same dates. She then said that this isn't her birth date. He persisted that it was, and that she should stop trying to fool him. She said she started to cry and ran to get her purse to show him her driver's license, and that's when his face slipped. He tried to get out of it by making excuses that he isn't good with dates, etc., but Becky just went straight to her phone and checked Facebook. She found his ex's profile showing her birthday. It was the date that he would have gotten tattooed on his chest if I hadn't said no and also called Becky. My dumbass cousin would have ended up with the birthday of his ex-girlfriend next to his wedding date. Becky said that she more or less told him that it was over and that this was enough. She started to immediately reorganize the whole wedding and honeymoon while kicking him out of the house. A bit later, she called me back. She also mentioned that she didn't want to say what happened on the phone as she thought that I might tell my family and she didn't really want to hear about it. And that's fair, I get that. Becky changed the honeymoon booking and is now taking her best friend. Also, if you're wondering, Becky's dad is currently the owner of their house as they agreed to slowly pay him back due to his financial wealth and stability that made more sense this way. As far as I know, Becky is going to stay there. Anyways, that's the tea, folks. This was truly a wild ride, and I'm pretty sure Becky and I are going to be good friends. We really hit it off. I don't have much dignity left for Matt, so I'm not sure I'll keep contact at all. P.S. Becky loved my painting. In the comments, Ren1101 says, "Thanks for the update. What a wild ending. Becky certainly put up with a lot before the tipping point. I was wondering if you know how long Becky and Matt dated before the wedding day. It seems crazy that he would be so sure of the wrong birthday. Like, have they celebrated Becky's birthday before? Has he ever said happy birthday to her on the wrong day? Either way, I'm glad it came out and y'all are living your best lives now without Matt's douchiness clouding the way." OP says, "They've been together for about 3 years, I think. I've got a feeling that Maddie isn't over his ex yet. I assume that she's the one who left, because if he's the one who left, he's very dumb, but from what you told us, I wouldn't put this past him. The end of that relationship is a very good thing for Becky, and in some ways for Matt too. Now he's free to pursue his ex again. Thank you for the update, and I'm glad your relationship with your mum improved, and now you can distance yourself from the toxic people in your family. Maddie, I'm looking at you. Good luck to you, friend." And now, mini update? Hi everyone. Not sure if anyone still cares, but I thought I'd give a tiny update on how everything went. First of all, since that question came up a few times, I'm a woman. And Becky and her bestie went to Bali as they replanned things. During her vacation, we texted quite a bit, and then they came back and we were still texting. First, it was all very superficial and polite as she thanked me for telling her about the whole tattoo thing, that I showed up to the party anyways, and that I still gifted her my painting, etc. We got into other stuff like music, movies, and hobbies. We have a lot in common, and it turns out she's just as nerdy as me, so we could connect over anime and different games. I never had a female friend to share these interests. She's also coming over for a few days next week, and I'm super excited. Anyways, I'm super happy about how everything went, and to see that Becky's doing very good without my cousin. I think she's truly relieved and is beautifully blooming. Thanks guys for all your messages and comments, I really appreciate it. In the comments, Noctule88 says, "That's great. By the way, have you heard of Maddie?" OP says, "Nothing direct. I've talked to his mother though. Apparently he actually did try to reach out to his ex, but I have no idea what's going on there." And on to our last update titled, "Becky asked me out?" Hi. I'm very excited. Becky asked me out on a date. It's only in October as she wants to take it slow and she needs more time since the wedding isn't that long ago, but she wanted to make her current feelings clear to me. In the comments, Sunflower and Dream says, "OP traded in her loser cousin for a new friend. Not a bad trade so far. Honestly, things seem to have turned out well for OP. New friend, her mum understands what she does better, and she didn't have to tattoo her jerk of a relative. I still can't get over the shitbird thinking that he's gonna get a chest piece at his wedding and then just keep rocking. It's an effing wound. It oozes and bleeds and hurts. The wrong birthday was just the shit cherry atop the shit sundae. Yeah, I've gone to work after a hip and wrist tattoo. While not unbearable, I was able to uncover the hip for periods of time while working due to having a hutch thing on my desk so you can't see below my head. It still wasn't an enjoyable workday. Expecting to dance and honeymoon after a fresh piece though, what an idiot. I am very heavily tattooed. I recently got my stomach done. I work from home, and for about a week I was taking calls in gym shorts and a button-down shirt with the bottom few buttons undone. This guy's a moron even before the whole birthday thing is taken into consideration. It sounds like the cousin was basically using Becky as a placeholder and stand-in for his ex, since he's clearly not over her. Trying to change her to be more like the ex, calling her by the ex's name, and then the birthday tattoos? They've been together for 3 years and he's never bothered to learn what her birthday was because he doubled down on swearing that that was her birthday. Yeah, he didn't care about Becky. She was just a doll where he exerted his imagery of the ex onto her because the surety of believing that date was her birthday is definitely giving that he was looking at her through rose-tinted glasses and never saw her for her. I'm glad that she got out. People being shocked about the birthday thing after them being together for 3 years? My ex asked me to call his solicitor when we divorced, and she asked me, with a very embarrassed tone to her voice, what my date of birth was. After 15 years together, he still couldn't be asked to remember, so yeah, douches like this really do exist. Posted by user Sesame Poppy Seed Alt, titled, "They hired someone new instead of promoting me, and now I have no motivation to work." Hi everyone. It's been a few months now since this happened, but I can't get past this, and I guess I just want to get this off my chest in hopes that it'll help me get over it. Here we go. I've been working at the same company for over 6 years. The company is medium-sized, I would say, and at the time that I was hired, we didn't have a marketing department. With time, the company grew, and after 1 year of working there, they offered that I be the one to kickstart the marketing department, and I accepted. For 2 years, I was the only person in the marketing department. I did everything all by myself. I knew how everything worked, I kept my numbers and quality high, that my manager even asked my boss to give me a bonus for my hard work. As the company grew, the work became too much for just one person, so they gave me a team. We were now 4 in total. I trained and pretty much led the team, but the thing is, my title never went past marketing agent. I thought that with all the things I'm doing, I'd at least get marketing manager by now. I expressed this to my manager, who said they'll see what can be done. Months pass, and my title remained the same, but then in a meeting with my manager one day, they told me that our boss is thinking that there should be a marketing team lead on the team. They said that they think that this is going to be me, as I started off the department, trained everyone, have the most knowledge, and have been in the company for 6 years now. Obviously, I got excited hearing that, and I patiently waited for boss to finally drop the news to me. The news ended up being that they were looking for a marketing team lead, and they decided to hire externally. I can't even put into words the way that I felt. Even now, I still feel like I've been punched in the gut. It feels so unfair and humiliating. I was the first person in the marketing department. I have the most experience. Why would you hire someone with 0 experience instead? I asked my manager why I wasn't considered for it, and their response was basically just, "Boss just couldn't see you being a team lead." Hearing that seriously killed my self-esteem and made me feel even more humiliated. They eventually hired the person to take on the team lead role, and what made me want to slam my head against the wall is that they made me train them on everything that I knew. Listen, the new team lead is a nice person, and I really don't want to hate them because it's not their fault, but my bitterness is so strong. I just don't even want to interact with them unless they/I need help. So, now I'm stuck being marketing agent forever, I guess. But what really drove me to write this on Reddit is the new team member. One person on the team left and was replaced with someone else who just started last month. The team lead is on vacation, so I was the one asked to train the new hire. As I was training them, we talked and I told them a little about myself, about how I started the department and everything, and they said, "So all that just to not be team lead?" And that honestly just pissed me off. I don't know if it's their wording, their tone, or the look of pity on their face that got to me, but I just shut down. I laughed it off, finished up with training, and just barely worked the whole day, and the day after that. Even now, I feel like my numbers are lower than usual. My quality definitely dropped, but I just can't care anymore. I know I could just quit, but the company's benefits are amazing, and I've made so many friends here that would make leaving so hard. Traveling for work every few months allowed me to see different cities and take in new experiences, but I just can't get past this, and I don't know if I ever will. I might just go through the days until I just really can't do it anymore. If you've read up until this point, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and I really hope this situation never happens to you. In the comments, Every Guard says, I mean, you have a plethora of experience that could potentially get you a better paid job that respects you. Right now, your job's just using you for your skills without paying you appropriately for those skills, hence why they didn't promote you. I'd build a resume and put on there everything that you have done for the company and start looking elsewhere. I get that there's good benefits and friends, but right now it sounds like they're on a path that is potentially going to screw you and potentially the business itself up. And if/when you do quit, just be honest. Say, why am I taking on the tasks of a team lead, training the team lead, covering for them, but without the title or wages? It's not that the boss doesn't see you as a team lead, he just doesn't want to pay you for the skills that you have. My biggest regret is wasting over 10 years in a company that I thought would promote me, but never did. I had a manager literally tell me that I was too effective in my current role, so that's why I kept getting passed over for promotions. I applied to jobs for a few months, and last year I got a new job with a higher title and better pay. It wasn't an overnight process, but it was so worth it. I wish I had done it sooner. Your company has no loyalty to you. They don't deserve your loyalty in return. Back up to the post, edit. Hi again, everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for your advice. You've all been very helpful, and you've all given me the confidence to send my resume to other companies for a team lead or manager position. I'll be sending my resume to more as they pop up. The market is terrible right now, but I'm pretty confident. Now I just have to act like normal in this current position until I hear from one of them. Wish me luck. For those wondering how I trained the new team lead, I did not teach them everything that I knew. Hell no. I taught them enough to do their job, but when it comes to the deeper knowledge, I held back. I personally just thought that it was the smartest decision for me, as teaching them all I knew wouldn't have benefited me at all. It's up to my company to teach them everything else and not keep relying on me. When I was asked to train the new hire, I did mention that I shouldn't train them if we have a team lead, but boss hit back by saying that I would be responsible if the team lead fell behind if we waited until the team lead got back from vacation. I didn't want to cause stress for the rest of the team and myself, so I stupidly complied. I did consider threatening to leave if I didn't get the team lead role, but I held back because I was afraid of the response. I was afraid they would have just let me go and that I'd be left unemployed without a backup job, especially considering the job market right now. But I guess my pride also played a part in it. I really wanted to be given the team lead role because they believed in me and wanted to give it to me, not because I threatened them. I also do quite like my job, so I thought I could suck it up, but it's really not worth the mental suffering. Huge thanks again for reading my ramblings. Have a great one, guys. Yeah, I'd take the advice of what the comments have said here and just start looking for new jobs while you can. Obviously, you've taken that advice in your edits and done that, and I do think my unprofessional opinion on this would be that saying you're going to leave if you don't get the team lead role would have been a good way to burn bridges. Obviously, you may be burning bridges when you do leave this company for a better job, but it's better to do that with the security of a job that you do have, instead of the insecurity of a job that you don't have, as well as a boss scorned. I'm glad that you didn't do that one, OP. I'm very proud of you. Unfortunate to hear that you're in the situation that you're in, but, that's life, that's business, that's some stupid shit that companies do. You obviously deserve better, so go find better. And now, on to the updates. So I got a job as a marketing team lead. Just finished week 3. The market's rough right now, but I'm glad that I didn't give up and just kept applying. My new job is a little challenging, but my mental health is in a better place now, knowing that I could finally fully let go of that grudge. If you're in a similar situation, don't lose hope. When I gave in my notice, I would pay just to see the look on my boss's face again when I told them that I was leaving for a marketing team lead job. They tried to salary match, but I declined. They asked what they could do to keep me, but I kept it polite and just said that it was time for me to experience more in a different role now. I could tell they were really pissed, but I couldn't care less. And then apparently they talked smack about me to the manager, that I was betraying them and all that BS. It's so embarrassing. Of course, before I left, I asked my manager what I needed to improve on to be a better team lead so I can do even better in my new role. I was told things like be a little more strict, have more confidence, and other things that I made sure to write down to work on. And I know it's been months, but I still wanted to ask again why I was passed up the promotion at this company. So apparently it's because they made it so that the team lead did more admin work, more team reports, team evaluations, team decisions, and coming up with new procedures and less marketing. Apparently, since I'm the most senior with consistent results, they didn't want to lose that by making me team lead. So they figured keeping me as a marketing agent was the smartest move for the company. I fully understand their decision, but screw that. I feel like I'm actually doing what a team lead should be doing in my new company, and that's all I really wanted. It just feels like they're still trying to figure out what a team lead should do, and I'm not willing to stick around for that again. Thank you again, everyone, for encouraging me to look for another job. I got way too comfortable in my last job that I allowed them to walk all over me. You aren't handcuffed to a certain company forever, and it's okay to leave when you feel there is no more growth for you. Have a great one, everyone. In the comments, Hick Rick says, "Oh, so they thought they could pull one over on you, not expecting you to be a motivated person who takes care of their own career? Boom, congrats." That's a life lesson. If you make yourself invaluable in your current role, that is where you will stay because it would be hard to replace you. It's probably best to be good at your role, but let someone else prove to be invaluable. Then you can spend your time showing how you're prepared for the next position. Since you leaving your current position wouldn't hurt as much as a hardworking person, and you show the qualities of the next, you can get promoted. I've been told that the best thing you can do is show that you can replicate yourself. You take a new hire, make them as successful as you are, and then you can move up. Quotes, and then apparently they talked smack about me to the manager, that I was betraying them and all of that BS. It's so embarrassing. Loyalty is a two-way street, F-face. Management like that truly doesn't understand that about loyalty. It's not a one-way street all for the company's benefit only. If you don't give employees what they want and need, of course employees will leave to places that do. I didn't feed or house my guard dog or take it to the vet when it was sick. Golly, I wonder why it ran away after snapping at my hand, ungrateful beast. Quotes, team lead did more admin work, more team reports, team evaluations, and team decisions. That's a bullshit excuse, and I'm glad that OP called them out. If the company really believed that, they could have bumped OP's title and pay to be on par with a lead, but they didn't. Or, hear me out, if you want an admin role, then hire an effing admin person. It would have probably been cheaper and more beneficial if they made OP the lead and then hired an assistant and admin to handle the paperwork. Why pay someone to do more paperwork? That's just stupid. You want your experts using their expertise, not doing paperwork. How companies and organizations don't collapse, I have no idea. It's a big problem in Japanese companies. The higher that you go up, the more paperwork you have to deal with. It's why a lot of talented developers in video game companies avoid promotion or leave to start their own studio just because they want to keep making games, not be stuck making reports to the shareholders, and why the upper management of Japanese companies end up being the ones who want more power and control rather than the ones who are actually good at what they're doing. One of the few exceptions is Nintendo, where they have siloed away the talented developers to let them do their own thing. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!